Good evening and welcome back to Twin State Sports. I'm Zach Seminar. On Thursday night, a valiant upset bid for the Mississippi State women's soccer team fell just short on the road in Columbia. The Bulldogs jumped out to a halftime lead, even led with under 10 minutes to go in the contest before the third-ranked Gamecocks forced overtime before winning the contest in the extra session. The overtime game for MSU was their third straight and first that ended in a loss. Brooke McKee, Peyton Gruenwald scored for MSU, who dropped to 1-2-2 in SEC play. Next up for the girls from Starkville is a trip back home to host Kentucky Sunday afternoon. Today, Ole Miss Chancellor Jeff Vitter announced that the Ole Miss Rebels are going fins up for Land Shark. Yeah, that's right, saying that the Land Shark will indeed be the Rebels' new mascot starting sometime next year. The school said a student vote prompted the change and that the Rebel Black Bear would no longer be the school's mascot effective immediately. The Land Shark mystique had become synonymous with Ole Miss athletics, with some of the school's great athletes like Marshall Henderson and Caitlin Lee celebrating with their hand put perpendicular in front of their face. This will be the second mascot change for Ole Miss in less than 15 years. The school retired Colonel Reb in 2003 because many felt it was offensive given the mascot's origin. A pair of SEC offenses were on display in an onslaught we haven't seen all year long. In a top 25 clash between Ole Miss and Tennessee, a combined 10 goals were scored, but the Volunteers netted 6 of them. The Rebels fell behind 3-0 just 22 minutes into action, but despite clawing their way back into within 1 at 4-3, Ole Miss couldn't stick with Big Orange. 4 different Rebels scored for Ole Miss, including Channing Foster and Cece Kaiser, who netted their team-high 11th goals of the season. The loss for Ole Miss was their third of the season, all of which have come in conference play. The 10 total goals scored was the most in a game involving Ole Miss since they blasted Alabama A&M 11-0 back in 2001. The Rebs have a quick turnaround with a home date with LSU scheduled for Sunday at the Ole Miss Soccer Stadium in Oxford. And how about those 17th-ranked Jones County Bobcats last night? They dismantled East Central 49-7. And the Cats' second to last home game of the year, Deshaun Smith scored 4 touchdowns in the game to move them to 5-1. Well, looking to pick up their first CUSA win of the season didn't go quite as planned for the Southern Miss women's soccer team on the road in Boca Raton last night. The Owls staked to a 2-0 lead before an Ola Akini got the Eags on the board with a goal in the 35th minute, but the Owls on the foot of Pernille Velta were too much for the Eagles to overcome. Velta finished with 2 goals for FAU. Southern Miss will look to end their 5-game winless streak a week from tonight when they return home to host Old Dominion. And also the Southern Miss volleyball team, their game on Sunday with UTEP has been postponed. That will be made up on the 16th of October.